Welcome to another installment of Celebrity Spotlight here on Live from Dennis's House. Today we're going to be talking to Billy J. Kramer. Billy J. Kramer was born William Howard Ashton, August 19, 1943 in Liverpool, England. You know who else came there from there, right? He was managed by Brian Epstein, and he was great friends with the Beatles. John and Paul wrote songs for him. John Lennon actually gave him his name, Billy J. He was going around as Billy Kramer, and John Lennon said, nope, you need to be Billy J. And sure enough, that worked out good for him. So between 1963 and 1965, he had two number one hits, many top 10 hits, songs like Bad to Me, From a Window, Little Children, Do You Want to Know a Secret, I'll Keep You Satisfied, and many more. And he was part of the whole Mersey Beat British invasion scene. He was one of the first to tour the U.S., and he had a long, great career. And he's got a new CD out. He's got an autobiography called Do You Want to Know the Secret? CD's called I Won the Fight. So now let's talk to Billy J. Kramer. On the phone with us now is the great Billy J. Kramer. So we're going to wrap up your entire life now, Billy, in 20 minutes. Let's see if we can do that from the beginning. All right, so first thing I want to know is growing up, of course, you were born in Liverpool, as everybody knows. Now, what was it like around the end of World War II? What was it like growing up in Liverpool at this time?
It was tough. But, I was only a kid. I didn't really notice it, you know what I mean?
Right.
They got pretty messed up, it was heavily bombed, which I don't think a lot of people realize that,
Right. That's what I was wondering, because of course England was bombed, and after the war, I seen pictures, and it looked like gray, and all the buildings blown up and everything. So was that what Liverpool was like also?
Yes, it was, because there's the docks. There's a lot of docks in Liverpool, and they used to bomb the docks, and I don't remember it, but my parents told me all about it. We had an air raid shelter in the backyard, just made of corrugated iron, and we'd go down there most nights, apparently. With a candle, it must have been pretty rough for them,
Yeah. That's why they call them the greatest generation, I guess.
I guess so.
Yeah. So then you became a guitar player before you actually were a singer. So who were like some of your influences at this time? Like, who'd you say, oh, I love the way they play the guitar, I want to be like them?
At that point, believe it or not, I didn't think about things like that. I was just playing whatever was popular at the time with friends, school friends and friends from the neighborhood. It wasn't until I sort of grew up a bit more and started to listen to a lot of other different people that I started to appreciate, other musicians.
Right. So it wasn't like Chuck Berry or the blues guys or anything that got you into it?
I used to love Chuck Berry,
Right.
I was a big Chuck Berry fan. I was a big Fats Domino fan, and Little Richard, and Eddie Cochran was a favorite of mine, and of course Buddy Holly. I was into all that stuff.
Yeah. Now I heard like a lot of people, the Beatles and you and other people talking about skiffle. Can you tell us what the skiffle is? I'm really not familiar with skiffle.
Skiffle is like it's played with acoustic guitars and a washboard with the cymbals, and the bass is just a broom handle with a T-chest. And it's strange because when if you look skiffle up, it was very popular in England, by a guy called Lonnie Donegan, and there was a thing called the Viper Skiffle Group, and lots of skiffle groups. But when you trace the music back, it's from America.
Oh, it's kind of like the English country music, kind of.
No, it's more like folky.
Okay. Now, and everybody knows also that you've had a long history with the Beatles. You were friends with the Beatles, and there from the beginning. Now, how did that come about?
Well, I was playing the same places as the Beatles. I was playing like the Litherland Town Hall, the Cavern, Aintree Institute, all their places at the same time, and so obviously I knew them then, And I got to know them, when they started making records, and when I started making records, I toured a lot with them.
Right. Now, so you must have been there at that, like you mentioned, the Cavern Club. How exciting of a time was that during this, when they were playing at the Cavern Club and you were playing there?
I'll be honest with you, I've been asked to describe this many times. And I always say that to people, and they look at me kind of strange, that if you didn't see the Beatles at the Cavern, you didn't see the Beatles. It was a whole different thing, and there was no screaming kids and stuff like that.
Right.
Before the Suits, and they would play for a long time, and they'd talk on stage, and it was great to watch and hear them. I was very fortunate that I worked for the railway not far from the city, into the city. I used to jump the train at lunchtime, going to them in the lunchtime sessions and things like that before they were known nationally.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, I always knew it was only a matter of time that something as big was going to happen.
Right. So, were you? Did you go on tour? Like, I know they went to Berlin. Did you do that as well?
No, I went to Hamburg.
Oh, okay.
And then in England. I played every city and every town. We did weeks in each place.
So, how crazy was it in Hamburg?
I just thought I'll be honest with you. I was like, it was the first thing I did professionally, and I was just like, I thought it was like a den of iniquity. I really did. It was all, I was this blue record kid's son, from Liverpool, and it was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I imagine. So, and now you also shared the manager, of course, with the Beatles. Brian Epstein was your manager too, and now, so what did he mean to you? I know he influenced you a lot. He was really important to you. What did he mean to you?
Well, things like, firstly, I was very. People don't know because they haven't seen the pictures. I don't think there's many around, thank God. But I was very flamboyant in my younger days. And the first thing he said to me is, we're going to throw away the Christmas tree. And he took me to a tailor, and we ordered some suits. And he would come to shows unannounced, and we wouldn't know, and he'd come backstage afterwards, and he would critique everything, and about the repertoire, what songs you sang, how you introduced the songs. I don't like this song, you should do this instead. It's very constructive, Not a shout out of an argument, but very constructive. Brian was a very nice man,
Right. And that I know that you were behind him getting inducted into the Hall of Fame as well.
Well, I tried because I was, I'd been away and I came home, and I just thought I'd like to do something special for the 50th anniversary a few years ago, and I wrote the song "To Liverpool with Love." That was it, and what you mentioned was Brian Epstein in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because I thought it was like ludicrous, that to me he brought the biggest entertainment act to the world has ever known.
Exactly.
And wasn't getting the recognition he rightfully should have had.
Right. But they've since corrected that now, right? That he's in there now?
He's in there now, yeah.
Okay, see, thanks to you, I bet.
Well, I think I hope it helps,
Yeah. So, and you mentioned your new CD. We'll get to that in a second, though. But so now, what else do you recall? Like, because you're this young kid, and then you start recording at Abbey Road, and you're working with George Martin. Now, what was that like? He must have. Everyone says he was a genius and a great guy to work with.
Well, to me, it was very. I was very overwhelmed by unbelievable, because things, once I turned professional, I was very lucky, and I always say that, that I've always been indebted to John and Paul. They wrote great songs for me and would, help me a lot. And but it's a bit of a number to walk into Abbey Road, which was such a big studio, and to me, George Martin always reminded me of the Duke of Edinburgh,
Right.
and I was like, in the beginning, I was intimidated by it, but after a few records, I got past it,
Right. You learn a lot. And now, I heard that you were the first one to record a Beatles song. Besides the Beatles recording them, you were the first external person to record one of their songs.
I had a number one hit in England with "Do You Want to Know a Secret" before they did it themselves.
Wow.
And I recorded not Bad to Me, I Called Your Name, a year and a half before they did it themselves,
And I heard you had another record that I heard. You broke a record. I mean, in the U.S., you were the first person or the only person to have both sides of the single in the top 10.
That was Little Children and Bad to Me.
Right.
On the one record,
Wow, that was amazing.
It was amazing, and it's quite a feat, quite frankly, I was very lucky,
Yeah. It takes talent and luck, absolutely. And then
it's luck, and I'm just happy that it was a great period to me. There will never be anything like it again.
Right, yeah. So that's one of the things I was asking. I wanted to ask you that it was one of the most exciting times in music ever, and I'm sure since like Beethoven and all these guys, as far as I'm concerned. So, do you think that there'll ever be another period like this again? You think there could ever be anyone like the Beatles ever again?
No, I just think it was just one of them freak things.
Yeah, it's just. It's amazing. Have these four people.
I was talking with someone today who worked for Paul, and I was saying to him, you can't even start to analyze it even.
Right.
It's just it was a phenomenon.
Yeah. And it's kind of sad for future generations that they'll never experience anything like this.
Well, I think quite frankly, it's up to people like myself and. The older guys still playing music to hand it down to these kids, because whoever's handing them down what they're getting now is terrible. I don't think we'll be talking about it in 50 years, no.
Right. Yeah. It's, as far, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, it's equal to Beethoven and that kind of stuff.
I think so. I'll tell you the truth. I haven't heard a song in the last few years that I think that I'll still be into in 10 years' time, even.
Right. So, and now you broke the ground in the U.S. too. You were the first one to tour in the U.S. before the Beatles even came here. So, what was that like for you?
It was very exciting, and it was just, at that time coming to America was a whole different world, It was such a big deal to people. I'll be honest with you. People like Cliff Richard, who was still enormous in England, was over in the States and never made it. And a lot of British people. And to me, I always say it took the Beatles to open the doors for all of us.
Right.
And when you think about it, the talent that was around. You had people like James Brown, you had Marvin Gaye, you had the Miracles, the Drifters, the Coasters. These people were singing great songs as well.
Right.
And Chuck Berry, great songwriter, great lyricist, There's nobody around like that now.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, you mentioned James Brown and all of those guys. Now, you did the TAMI tour, and I believe James Brown was on that and a bunch of these other guys. What was that like?
Phenomenal. It was unbelievable. concert with me. It was James Brown, Chuck Berry, Marvin Gaye, the Supremes, the Miracles, the Supremes, so many, and all in the one show. And quite frankly, I really, my heart went out to the Stones that night because they were closing the show after James Brown, and he was at the top of his game and blew the roof off, you know.
Right. But they say that's when Mick got all his moves, though, from sitting on the side of the stage waiting.
I think Mick was terrified.
Oh, yeah? That's hard to believe now.
I was glad I went on early.
So, and did you tour? How many dates were that? Did that tour the entire country, or?
No, it was just a one thing in California.
Oh, really?
You can buy it on DVD now, you know.
Oh, wow. Yes, I would like to check that out. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So now, did you do all the shows at the time? Did you do the Ed Sullivan Show and all that?
I did the Ed Sullivan Show. I did Shindig and Hullabaloo. A lot, you know.
Yeah. So now you must have really liked New York because you currently live in New York, right? You have a home in New York?
Yeah, I've lived in New York for quite a long time. I've been married to a girl from New York for 26 years.
So yeah, I think New York's the greatest city in the world. I love it. You agree with that?
I love it, and I think that to me, Liverpool was like a mini New York.
Right.
You know, similar type of culture and people. I think that's why John liked it so much.
Yeah, that's true. So you were living here. Were you living here the same time when John was as well?
No, it was after that, unfortunately,
okay.
You know.
Yeah, very sad. So now, like we said, you have your latest CD came out a couple of years ago. It's called "I Won the Fight." So you want to tell us a little bit about that? Like, what do you mean by "I Won the Fight" and some of the songs on there?
It started off where I wrote the Liverpool with Love, and I wrote Sunset to Santa Fe, and I thought that was going to be it. And it just seemed to like songs that I'd always liked and wanted to do. And then I wrote this, I Can't Keep the Dog Outside Tonight. And, it just became the CD. And I thought, God, I could think of a title. And I came up with I Won the Fight. And basically, I think life is a fight in a way.
Yeah.
I think everybody has ups and downs and, things in the life. And I'm in a good place in life now, and I've got past a lot of things that used to bother me, and that's how I come up with I Won the Fight,
Yeah, it's a great title, absolutely. Life is a Fight. And this is a great CD as well. I was listening to some of this, like you said, Liverpool with Love, Breakfast in Marin, Sunsets of Santa Fe. These songs, great songs here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and then
you have really makes me feel good.
Yeah, it's great stuff. And you have your autobiography out. Do you want to know a secret? Yeah. So you have any juicy stories from there that you want to tell us now?
No. It's funny enough. To me, it came about I was talking to Sylvester Stallone's brother, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "When are you going to do an autobiography?" I said, "Well, I can't find anybody to do it." And he introduced me to this guy, Alan Shifton, who'd written the Harry Nielsen book and got all sorts of awards for it. And I called him up, and I was very surprised when he said he'd do my book. And, it's basically just about my life and what I've done, It's not a sex and drugs and rock and roll book,
Mm.
But I think it's a good story, and I try to give people an insight about me. They really don't know that much about me apart from my Lennon McCartney songs and hits in the '60s. And I was thinking about I'd like people to know more about me and what I'm like as a person. Not this guy who just sang on TV when it was black and white.
Right. Yeah. When you came over on the tour, that you basically were alone. The Beatles had each other. They talked about that. They were insulated and they all had each other. But Brian Epstein kind of just put you together with the Dakotas, and they were like kind of strangers to you. And it was like
hard. But it's like when we went to Hamburg. They just hung out with people. They knew different musicians, and I didn't know. I was very lucky that I chummed up with Gene Vincent, who was playing the Star Club at that time. We used to hang together,
Oh, with Gene Vincent, nice.
And it was a strange working relationship with the Dakotas, and it wasn't the most happiest period of my life, but I was successful.
Right.
It's hard to live with four strangers when you don't get along.
Yeah. And I heard you mention that because you were from Liverpool and they were from Manchester, so it's like you guys don't get along anyway because of soccer or something.
Well, sometimes, but these particular ones I did.
Yeah.
There was like disputes about like songs. I put forward songs that I wanted to do, and they'd say, "Oh, we don't like them. We're not playing that."
Yeah.
And the next thing, I'd see somebody else in the charts with it, and I'd be like,
it's the hardest thing in the world to keep a band going. It's like a marriage with 5 people or whatever.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah. So now, do you have any concerts coming up?
Well, at the moment, I did the Happy Together tour, and I had a minor surgery on my hand, and I got a staph infection, so I've had to sort of take it easy for a bit,
Right. Now, I heard that you stopped playing the guitar for many years because you were the lead singer, but you picked it up again recently?
That's how I come to do I Won the Fight.
Right.
I started to play again.
Okay.
My wife said, "What's the matter? It's been sitting there for 25 years."
Yeah.
But I've got back into it. I'm not a great guitar player. I never will be. It's a tool to write songs with.
Right. Absolutely.
That's what I use it for,
Yeah. So hopefully your hand will get better and you'll be back out on the road soon. We'd love to check that out.
I hope to be back on the road soon, definitely, yes.
Yeah. So, and, everyone can check out your stuff on BillyJKramer.com. You're on social media. You have the official Facebook page they can go out and like. Everyone can buy your CD, your autobiography, and that TAMI thing, if you get any money for that, or what?
But I still get money from EMI.
All right.
EMI and Warner Brothers are very good, but there's a lot of other bogus people around.
Right. And, so you have anything else that you'd like to discuss before we wrap this up?
I've got a lot of new material.
Okay.
That I'm going to have out in the new year.
Oh, you're going to have a new CD out in the new year?
I will have a new one in the new year.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
I've been working on it since I finished I Won the Fight.
Oh, that's great. You can't wait for that. Hopefully you'll have a tour next year too. And I just
hope so.
Yeah, I want to say that I want to compliment you for having the best hair in music. I saw this picture and I said, my goodness, this full head of hair that this guy has, that should be in the Hall of Fame. It's beautiful.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very blessed. Very lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you've had an amazing career over 50 years, and I want to thank you very much for the music and for continue to do this. And like you said, pass this down to the other generations. It's very important.
Yes, and it's something that I've always loved to do. I still love to do it now, and we have to hand it down.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to thank you for calling in, and we'll be posting this stuff, and I'll be following you and what's going to happen in 2017, and I will see you soon. Thank you, Billy J. Kramer, the great Billy J. Kramer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Bye, Billy.
Bye-bye now.
Hey, welcome back to Live from Dennis's House. That was our interview with Billy J. Kramer. And what a wonderful guy. What a wonderful career. Over 50 years, long history with the Beatles, Brian Epstein, made great music, made history, toured with everybody, played with everybody. Anything. And he's got, like we discussed, learned a lot. You know, he's got his new CD out, I Won the Fight. He's got his autobiography, Do You Want to Know a Secret? Go check out his music and all of this great stuff. It was a legendary career. It was great talking to him. So you go check out his website, BillyJKramer.com. Check him out on Facebook, the official Billy J. Kramer. We're going to close the show up now. So let's play a few songs, and we'll go out with Do You Want to Know a Secret by Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas, and Do What Diddy by Manfred Mann. You have been listening to Celebrity Spotlight on Live from Dennis's House.
If you ever leave me, I'll be sad and blue. Don't you ever leave me, I'm so in love with you. The birds in the sky would be sad and lonely if they knew that I'd lost my one and only. They'd be sad if you're bad to me. The leaves on the trees would be softly sighing if they heard from the breeze that you left me crying. They'd be sad. Don't be bad to me. But I know you won't leave me, 'cause you told me so. And I've no intention of letting you go, just as long as you let me know you won't be bad to me. So the birds in the sky won't be sad and lonely, 'cause they know that I've got my one and only. They'll be glad you're not bad to me. You won't leave me, 'cause you told me so. And I've no intention of letting you go, just as long as you let me know you won't be bad to me. So the birds in the sky won't be sad and lonely, 'cause they know that I've got my one and only. They'll be glad you're not bad to me. They'll be glad you're not bad.